Welcome to another beautiful week. Thank you for tuning in to the Monday edition of the Detroit Lions Lone Wolves podcast. I am the Doc, John Macaroon. What are we going to talk about today? My goodness. I did not change the banner from when I talked about it earlier. Here I am live on a Monday. I want to get your feedback. I want to get your opinion. And my job today is simple. It is easy to see now the difference between the Rams and the Lions. And you can see the difference between those that say it is what it is, and let's just hope that draft and develop works, and those that go, you know what? I've seen what the Rams have done. I've seen the fruits of Les Snead's labor and see what he does. So we're going to talk about it. Obviously, there were question marks about the Lions offseason. And then Dan Campbell's all serious. And you realize, okay, he's taking a serious approach. He wants to get to the level. But in the end, talent wins. Talent wins. And when there's an opportunity to land a Myles Garrett, and you see what the reports are, they wanted it out there. The Rams wanted it out there that they called and called and called and added and wanted and added. And that's the definition when Brad Holmes is asked by the media, hey, do you look at being aggressive? When I asked him and then asked by the newspaper, hey, what's aggressive? Aggressive, he's like, what do you mean aggressive? Aggressive means when Myles Garrett is there, you make the calls all day and night until you make a deal. And you add Myles Garrett to a team that was already a Super Bowl favorite. You added Myles Garrett to the Rams. That's not a good day. Obviously, the Lions fan base, by and large, is like, oh, my God. And, of course, I overreacted. It's not my true thought, but my thought has always been on X at Detroit Podcast at 1:23 p.m. That thought crossed my mind when I entered back into Detroit from Grand Rapids. My first thought was, the Lions season's over. Are you serious? Christian texts me, Myles Garrett to the Rams. That was my first reaction. What was your first reaction when you heard the news? I want to get your feedback. Today, I'm just going to say it's not about doom and gloom, really. I hope the Lions compete with the Rams because, again, a couple years ago, I said this on podcasts is when the Lions and the Texans were building different ways too. I want to see, does the Lions draft and develop strategy work, or does it work with how Les Snead? Does it work again for him? So I'm going to get your feedback. You know I will. Smash the like button early, 150 people in, 27 on YouTube and 100 on X. Smash the like button. But here's my stance on it, okay? And here's why a guy like me gets mad. Obviously, everybody's going to be in their camps, and I want, if you're in the we're good camp and you feel like, hey, we're still good, the Lions still have a strong chance, no problem. But here's how I look at it, okay? There has been a formula that has led some teams to win Super Bowls, okay? And the reason why someone like me and other fans and people that say, hey, be more aggressive, okay? I am not guaranteeing, nor is any Lions fan, to all the slappies out there. I'm talking to the slappies and some of the journalists who never seem to get it. They just go, oh, here are all the Lions contracts. Those were bold moves. Okay, so here is how you look at it. Simply, most people believe that some opportunity to win a Super Bowl where you actually have the best chance is, yes, draft young players, develop them, get them going to where they need to go, and then eventually you pick a date, you pick a time, okay? Brad Holmes has had 21, that's a free pass. 22, you built up again, you almost got to the postseason. 23, that might have been a year you could have made it more moves. Fine, but 24, 25, 26, zero big, high-priced Myles Garrett moves done by the Lions. The fan base wants it. The fan base is telling you, do it. Take a swing. Why? Tigers didn't take a swing. They bombed out of the postseason. The Pistons didn't take a swing. They bombed out of the postseason as a number one seed. The Tigers, and where's my sustained success? Where's my development of all these young prospects when they have a couple injuries and they fall off the face of the map and have their worst month ever. No real person believes in sustained success. It doesn't work like that. The NFL is designed to build up a couple years with draft picks, take a swing, tear down, and then take another swing. The Lions are building in a way where if this doesn't work, you're going to have 5-6 years of the same people and really not much of an opportunity to get better. Where the fan base goes, okay, we like what the Rams did. We like what the Eagles did. We like what the Seahawks did because it produced a pathway of, hey, I see the light at the end of the tunnel with what they did. With what the Lions have done, just drafting and developing lower end free agents, a lot of people don't have the hope for a Super Bowl. They go, okay, we can be good, but can you be great? Can you get over the mountaintop? Can you see the light at the end of the tunnel? Can you see the freaking gold coins and the light at the end of the rainbow, the jewels at the end of the rainbow, the Lucky Charms? Do you see any of that with this? How do you say, well, the Lions have drafted and developed with this group and it's going to lead to a Super Bowl? How do you say that? That's just hope. Hope is not a tangible, I see this. It's hoping that, yeah, Brad Holmes picked the right players. Brad Holmes signed the right players. Brad Holmes extended the right players. And you're hoping. To me, I'm more realistic. I'm like, well, I saw the Rams go and push for Matthew Stafford and then add good players at the deadline. You don't remember the Rams at SoFi? When they got there, they added a Von Miller. Did I forget that? They drafted Aaron Donald. They added, did I forget? They added Von Miller. So, okay. Now, the Seahawks put it all together in a way that won a Super Bowl. The part that everyone forgets is there have been teams that have used a strategy that has produced light at the end of the rainbow. We see the light. The Seahawks spent a lot of money on free agents last year. And then at the deadline, they added a special teams wizard to get them over the hump. That is a strategy that you say, okay, if you, I'm not saying if the Lions copied the Rams, it would guarantee you a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, oh my God, if Brad Holmes took a swing and it whiffed, we'd be devastated forever. That's Brad Holmes' job, to be able to take a swing. And if it doesn't work, you have 1 or 2 down years. The Rams only had 1 down year. They don't have any first round picks. So if you're a good GM, you can have 1 or 2 bad years and then restock it up. But to me, the opinion should be, when a guy like Les Snead makes a move, you wake up and pay attention. You don't just revert back to your camp and say, well, all the Lions moves are great. They have led to nothing. The Lions moves have led to nothing in your trophy case. You're just manifesting hope. Hope is not tangible. You're hoping, yes, and I am hoping this works. I hope I'm wrong. But if you want to spit real truth, more people have done it in a way similar to how close you could do it than what you're doing. I don't think you can be passive at the trade deadline and passive in free agency and then overcome Les Snead, who is acting this way. You got to remember, Les Snead is not going away. Howie Roseman's not going away. Mr. Schneider from the Seahawks is not going away. It is, to me, in my humble opinion, the strategy to get over the hump is, yes, draft good players, develop them. You can't sign them all. You got to wait, pick and choose, save up, and find a way to land a Myles Garrett. Okay, people will say, and we'll talk about it. I want to get your feedback. Who would you have given up? I would say I would have gave up J-Mo. Maybe I would have given up Jack Campbell. But I don't know. I don't know if the deal would have only been Aiden Hutchinson. I want to see. But here's the problem. Because you signed J-Mo, because you signed Ali McNeil, because you signed Kirby Joseph, you don't have the money. So when guys like me are yelling, you don't have to extend everybody. You don't, because guess what? A Myles Garrett doesn't fall off trees. Jared Verse got traded. You could have had Jared Verse. Terrion Arnold went 24th. Rams picked him at 19th. Why didn't you make this move? Okay, now, you can tell me I don't want to do this, okay? This is how I look at it. This is my opinion, and I believe it's shared by a healthy portion of the fan base, but I respect those that say the opposite. My opinion is, take a swing, 1 or 2 years. And if it breaks apart, fine. You went snake eyes, you repair it and try it again with the same strategy. Draft free agents, draft good college players, find some free agents that are talented and go after it again in 3-4 more years. Now, the other side says, no, John, you have a core group. This is our core. Penei Sewell, Tate Ratledge, Blake Miller, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, J-Mo, St. Brown, Goff, Jack Campbell, Aiden Hutchinson. If these are our core guys, we want to take 6 shots at the apple with the hope that we find enough supporting cast to do this. This is the going to work Lions like 2004. Okay? You are not going to have sustained success, guys, with the way the Lions are doing it. You're going to go for one Super Bowl and then you're going to tear it all down. You don't have Patrick Mahomes. You are in the same way trying for one Super Bowl. So I want to try for one Super Bowl with Myles Garrett. I want to try with the best of the best. Okay? And that's it. You know, today a beat writer goes, the Lions made bold moves and listed all the guys that they had. I looked at that and said, that didn't do nothing for me. Because those guys have not won anything. The last 2 years, injuries and no playoff wins for 2 years. That doesn't mean anything. The Rams won a Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium a handful of years ago and have been in the playoffs ever since, except for 1 year when Stafford was hurt. So long story short, when a GM that has won a Super Bowl like Les Snead makes a move, I have a hard time because it produced a Super Bowl. It produced a tangible result. They did this. It had a bigger chance to win. So how do I sit here and go, guys, fans of the Lions way is going to work when for 60 years it hasn't worked? What that is literally 3-card Monty bullshit that people are selling you. Hey, let's play 3-card Monty and you're going to actually win something. No. I mean, it's not that difficult. I mean, I feel like tangibly, factually, if I tell you, hey, all I'm saying is I saw the Rams try a strategy and it worked. Maybe we should try that strategy. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's it. And I feel like you have more of a leg to stand on than all the slappies that say, hey, just take it easy on free agency. Take it easy on trade market. Take it easy, and this is going to work. What does that, what other than hope and being a Homer fan and hoping you get access, what tangible evidence do you have that the Lions' current plan is going to work? What I'm saying is there's tangible, somewhat proof you have more of a chance doing it the Les Snead way than your way. That's all I'm saying is I have a little more faith in someone that's done it than the Lions, who have never done it and are coming off of 2 years where I was told draft and develop and sustain success. So I'm not a guy that goes and I don't buy the same bullshit 3, 4, 5 years in a row. I quickly move on. Like, hey, okay, I bought in 23. I bought in 24. I bought in 25. What happened? I'm not buying in anymore. I'm more skeptical. I am copy Les Snead. And the part that hypes it up is you were from there. You literally sat in the chair next to him. Why are you bucking the trend? Act like Les Snead. Act like the guy you came from. What are you trying to trailblaze? We don't need to trailblaze. Copy the man that has won a Super Bowl. You make that move. You do that. You should have built up to this year to go for it. How many more years are going to make these people wait? How many more years you want these people to wait? It doesn't work. Fine. You break it down in 27. You break it down in 28. You try again. But to me, in my humble opinion, what the way the Lions look is, the way that they're trying to sell it in my mind is we want to be good, but we're scared to push all in. We're scared because if we flop, it's going to be an epic flop. The fan base don't care. The fan base would rather you flop epically and try. The fan base would support more. More of the fans would say, try it. Try it. I don't want to take 8, 9, 10 slices at this. I don't want to be the Bengals. I don't want to be the Ravens. I don't want that. That's my stance on it. My stance is if someone does something that you want and they have a clear way of doing it and they're starting to make a move, fine. Copy it. That is my opinion. And it just bothered me emotionally to see Les Snead flexing his muscles again. That's aggressive. Trade a young prospect and 2-3 draft picks for the second best defensive player in the world. That is my opinion. What is your opinion? AG's burner. He hasn't adapted as a general manager. Shout out. Let me do a roll call. Obviously, Mr. Hassanin, I know you read it. Thankfully, I think you liked it. It was some good work on my part. I had a 5-minute conversation. You can hear it with Ahmed Hassanin. I got his information. It was cool. Shout out to Gavis Concon, Magic Muffin, Anakin Skygore. Meme Studio with the Tigers update. Yeah. They want to break out in May. Hell yeah. Don't give up a 6-0 lead. Shout out to L Word Crypto, AG's burner, Gavis Concon. Make sure you support Anakin and his opinions. Every opinion matters. Right. Anakin, nothing is guaranteed in this league. Nothing is guaranteed other than the Lions are not winning a Super Bowl. I mean, it's not really rocket science to pick against the Lions. They're 0 for 60. Any team can go 60 years without being in the Super Bowl. Okay, I'm not being doom and gloom. But what I'm saying is I'm passionate about it because it makes no sense to me to sell hope. Okay, you're selling, hey, go to Vegas and win a blackjack. It's like, okay, here's the deal. 2 simple analogies, one more, and then more feedback from you guys. It's like the fan base that are slappies are like, yeah, I heard my best friends went to Vegas and won a blackjack, so I'm going to sit there and win in blackjack. Okay, how many friends win? How many, yeah, but all of them said 2 friends won, but 19 lost. And then you got me who says, hey, put your money in Fidelity. I really believe the fact that if you put your money in mutual funds and stock market, set it and forget it, save 10% of your income, it'll grow and you'll be successful. And do that. And I'm successful and my friends are successful and half the world that buys in the stock market tend to be successful. And then you go, okay, Anakin, what do you pick? And you're like, I'm going to the casino. And then you got me going, why? Why would you do that? I want to take a swing. I want to take a chance. Now, some of you will say, I'm the one doing that, going to the casino. And Brad Holmes is, I look at it differently. Les Snead is the financial planner that gets you paid. And Brad Holmes is the casino. And he just hopes that you put your money down. Here's our new roulette table. Here's our new studio. Here's our new gadget. Here's our new video. You're selling hype. Les Snead is like, here's a tangible piece of paper. Here's a strategy. We'll see what happens. I truly do hope the Lions play the Rams. Everyone's healthy in the NFC Championship. Let's see it. Draft and develop aggressive Les Snead. Let's see what happens. But this is good for the Lions. This is good for the Detroit Lions because if the Rams are like 8-9-0 and they're just killing it, the Lions will be forced to upgrade at the trade deadline. They cannot. The fans will become unruly. Edith Paul kicks us off again. 69 years of rebuilding. I know there's support there. Magic Muffin likes the Rams edition this offseason. So let's need to find what aggressive is. What's your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts about Myles Garrett? How much trouble are the Lions in right now? Because I feel like obviously, clearly, the Rams won the preseason hype award. They won it. They're the preseason favorite. They're legendary. But you don't win a championship in June. I get it. I'm bummed out that the Lions did not attempt super strongly to try this. Yeah, you're not wrong, Anakin. We've missed out for 60 effing years. And it's right there. The guy that has the answer came from the land of plenty. Brad Holmes came from Les Snead. Brad Holmes came from there. F them picks. Now, this is twice the Rams have F them picks. They took a quarterback with the 13th pick. They took a quarterback. They don't even care about first-round picks. Brad Holmes is like, I want to trade 5 third-rounders to move up in every round. Les Snead's like, that's cute, Brad. We're not even going to take first-rounders because we can nail all the picks in the 4th, 5th round that we have, and we can trade them away. The Rams drafted Jared Verse and turned it into Myles Garrett. Get the hell out of here. That you have to credit that. Okay, outside of it. And I hope, and listen, the Lions have done a good job building a core. But is it good enough? I have more doubts. The best part is that, all we're doing is praising a guy that's won a Super Bowl, that's declaring and putting his nuts on the table again. And we're waiting for our guy to do it once. Maybe next year. Maybe the offensive line is too young to do it and try it. But maybe it's going to come. But man, I just pray. Listen, simple, no hate, no disregard. I just please God one time for the doc, okay? Obviously, I wanted Myles Garrett, Max Crosby. Didn't happen. Fine. Just don't let the Rams win the Super Bowl. Let it be the Texans. They build it through defense. They've had hard times. Things are weird down there. Let the Texans win it if it's not the Lions. Please do not let the Rams win it again. 2 for Matthew Stafford, 2 for Les Snead. Forget it. The day after the Super Bowl, I will be on here 4 hours just screaming with no feedback. And you got the slappies of the world going, oh, calm down, guys. It's we like our guys. Based on what? Based on what do you like your own guys? You won 2 playoff games. And based on what do you like your own guys? Based on what? There is no tangible other than I'm a fan of the team. I want to be a slappy and I just want to say nice things. There is no tangible proof other than you're saying, yeah, we can take 5. Yes, the Lions with this core can probably take 2, 3, 4 swings at the apple. But I don't know about this year. We shall see. All I'm saying is when a guy that's won a Super Bowl declares himself like that, you got to pay attention. You got to be concerned. Because guess what that means? That means his ass is going to compete even harder at the trade deadline. He is going to make moves. He's going to battle Brad Holmes for the guys that you would want. Appreciate all the feedback. Obviously, Anakin is still riding with it. I appreciate it. Gavis Concon, Mike Borgonzi is just as good as those guys. Can teams trade GMs? LOL. Anakin, there's more than one way, Doc. Listen, yes, there's more than one way. I did fire up the internet with, listen, okay, you guys are listening in live. Listen, that was my first reaction. How much do I truly believe that? 24%. That was my first thought. My Twitter page is literally a running thought of my brain as it happens. So at 1:23 p.m., the thought that was in my brain was Lions season's over. Okay, you guys know me. Listen, some of it's, it's not for reaction, but that's what I thought at 1:23. At 1:24, I probably was like, that's a little bit of an overreaction. Let's be real. But look at the response. Doc, what kind of talk is that? We have to be more positive. You're a bozo. Man, shut up. A lot of Cat Williams, brah. I said, yeah, it's an overreaction, truly. But that's what I thought. My first reaction was not, Brad didn't cook. My first thought was, season's over. That was my first thought. Again, and then I obviously, if you follow the thread, again, it's a live, my Twitter page, that podcast page is like a live thread of what's in my head. Today, I'm panicked. But that doesn't mean when training camp starts and Isaac Tesla is bringing it down or the Lions make a bold move at the trade deadline, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't say, okay, I'm happy with that. Because I do believe that when you have competition, that spurs Brad Holmes. He's got to wake up. He's got to be like, God dang it, the pressure's on. Brad's got to hit at the trade deadline. So today, June 1st at 7 p.m., okay, the season's over. But it'll change tomorrow. Come on. Nothing is concrete on X. And I said that. I said, listen, I'm allowed to be panicked on June 1st. I'm a mental health professional. I know how to control myself. You know, I'm not going to die and cry over it. I'm just going to debate, yell and scream, have a cocktail, and go to bed. Guys, be nice to those that have different opinions than you. We want to keep a nice chat community. Mr. Hassanin, you see my talents. You see what I can bring to the table. And I thanked Ahmed personally for letting me talk to him, giving me the chance to grow as a writer. I got better as a writer last week for having talked to him. I wrote that story in the high school of my daughter's volleyball tournament. They had a 2-hour break. I sat down. I was focused. I was by myself, and I just typed. My little brain typed. I had the quotes set up. I had everything laid out the way my process is, and I wrote it. That was my process, and it came out pretty well. A lot of people read it. A lot of people liked it. So whatever you think, I know how to write features. I know how to write stuff to give information to the fans. I had a little bit of intelligence, and I shared it with the people. Ahmed changed his diet. Thank gosh, probably, the inflammation in his body. He's like, I don't want that. I want to be leaner, meaner, tougher. Doc, you have the right vision. Do you think with all the changes of the coaches and players, we got a good chance? Or only compete for a seat? No. As we sit now today, you have a 4th place schedule. So here's how I'm going to describe it. And I thought about this when I was preparing. You're going to have a better record, but you might not be as good a team. The defense has to get better. You have to make 1 or 2 more additions, maybe at corner, maybe depth in the interior of the defensive tackle. You need to make sure Ahmed and Peyton Turner and Wonham and Derek Moore, you got to make sure they produce when the chances are there. You got to make sure that Terrion Arnold and Ennis perform, McCreary performs. You got to have a lot go right. So the record will be better, probably 11-6, 12-5, but the team might not be as good because the competition is not going to be that great. But in the end, right now, we have to be fair. The Rams have Matthew Stafford. He's a better quarterback than Jared Goff. If Jared Goff gets protection from the offensive line and Jahmyr Gibbs gets better and everything goes right, if Terrion steps up, if Ennis Rakestraw steps up, if Ahmed Hassanin develops and becomes a situational pass rusher in key downs and gets those moments with Derek Moore and Peyton Turner and they compete and everything works out and Tyleik Williams grows, if a lot of the hope hits, you're going to have a chance to make a run. But I don't know if you're as good as the Rams because the Rams are going to get better. But in the end, I just want to say this is what aggressive means. You take a swing. And if it doesn't work, so be it. They have a ring in their case. So be it. They'll go away for 1 or 2 years. They'll be back. And that's what I was telling Anakin in the chat before. They might, if they whiff, they might re-tear it down for a year or 2 and get back faster to the Super Bowl than you will. That's my strategy. But let's say this. Outside of the panic and the fear of bad stuff happening, today was a great day for the Detroit Lions, okay? So for all you people that think I'm a doomer, today was a great day. Today was a great day. Competition is the best thing in the world, okay? Today was a great day. Let me tell you why. If there was no Crunch Time Sports, if there was no Lions Syndicate, if there was no other people in this space to say, hey, let me try, I wouldn't have did it. I'm happy. I was content. I was happy. I had a website. I have videos on that website. I had commercials on that website. I was happy. Living life, 7 years in, 6 years in. I did audio only podcast, no video. Crunch Time Sports comes along. They create a platform. They get subscribers and they're doing great work, getting great interviews, putting out great content. Lion Syndicate grows his audience, says, hey, join the space. It can't hurt you. He asked me, he literally said, why are you not doing videos on YouTube? And I just said, I'm happy. I'm content. I have videos on all over the internet. I primarily do a website. I said to him, and if you actually think I'm some clown, I said to him, I don't think people would like it. I'm me. He's like, what is wrong with you? He's like, you're relatable, you're honest, you seem to have passion. Just try it. I said, okay. I said, okay, you're doing it. Crunch Time Sports is doing it. Now you see what they do. You see what Woodward Sports does, and you see, okay, let me get into that space. So now I'm doing it daily. I got better as a broadcaster. The more I do it, the more I spit out, the easier it is for me to flow my words out, get my thoughts out, not be scared of the journalist and say, hey, what are you guys talking about? You guys are the ones acting like fans, selling hope. I'm the one saying, hey, there's a tangible light at the end of the rainbow with some guy's strategy. There is actually a proof of concept as we say it. So to me, if there was no other competition, I just would have been writing and doing videos on my website. Today was a great day for the Detroit Lions. Brad Holmes got woken up by Les Snead. Wake up. There's some competition. Get some more talent. Today was a great day because Les Snead declared, I'm in for the Super Bowl race. The Lions, after free agency in the draft, they declared their playoff intention. They want to be good, but they haven't declared their Super Bowl intention. They got a young offensive line. They needed to gel. They got another first-year offensive coordinator in their system. This is a great day for the Detroit Lions. Okay, your competition has put their neck out. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful work, Les Snead, because you forced Brad Holmes to be competitive to make this football team better. He's got to have to look every single day at those practice squads and figure out stuff. Doc, you never know what will happen. Unfortunately, Mr. Mati, I do know what will happen. History, unfortunately, you are new to the, I mean, but you're 2 years into this. This is a 60-year problem for the Lions. Mr. Hassani, the Lions have never been to a Super Bowl. Less than 5 teams. Every team has been there once. Lions have never been there. So my thesis is simple. If you don't do what winning teams do, you're not going to win. And so to me, okay, and people say, well, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty specifics, but the best chance from how I've seen it, younger quarterback on a first-year contract that is talented. You surround them with great talent. You draft well. You have great moves in free agency year after year. You have great trade deadline moves year after year. And then you take a swing for a Von Miller, a Myles Garrett, Seattle special teams guy that they added at the deadline. You take a swing. You spend a little bit in free agency externally. You got to hit on all of them. Young quarterback, not paying running backs, not paying linebackers, paying the trenches, and letting some guys go. And then you add 2 or 3 impactful free agents. You take 1 or 2 swings, you win a Super Bowl, you break it all down. Or you draft Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff's not your quarterback. That's the strategy. Why? It's not that deep. It's just what other teams have done that have won. You drafted Jalen Hurts. You surround him with great interior defensive linemen. You take a swing at the end for a Saquon Barkley in free agency. Boom. You win a Super Bowl. Anakin, I'm proud of you, man. Keep fighting. Keep the battle. Anakin versus the chat side conversations if you want to pay attention. Hey, there's 60 of you here on YouTube. Smash the like button. 300 of you understand. You want to know how the Lions win a Super Bowl. Rocco gets in. There's no panic and fear. Let's not act like the Rams are world beaters here. Now, you could say this humbly. If the game's at Ford Field, I'm a little bit more confident than if it's at SoFi. If the game's at SoFi, you're getting run out of the gym. So make sure you're the number 1 seed. Get that game at Ford Field. You will dominate. But I'm worried. We have a super chat. Early in, sorry for the delay. I didn't say that. Doc, loved your video title. Aggressive is defined. Super chats are open. Sorry I made you wait, but you know we'll read them all. Aggressive is defined by Les Snead and Schneider and Veach and Roseman and soon Brad Holmes. You can't. Okay? Again, the reason why people like me are yelling and screaming is you also have the Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings selling you this BS sustained success nonsense. You are not getting sustained success, guys. Okay, I'm telling you. Okay, stop with the bullshit of your sustained success. You're not getting it. Okay, you didn't have it. 23, you arguably peaked. 24, lost to the Commanders. 25, first, no playoffs, 9-8. You don't get that. It doesn't work like that. You're not getting a run of 3 or 4 Super Bowls to the Lions. I'm sorry. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. I'm sorry. You're going for 1. I would rather take a swing. I'm a little bit more of a, hey, get the best players, take a swing and see what happens. And remember, if you want to ask, your head coach said it. Man, this might have been our best shot. This might have been it. We could have got a cheap one without being aggressive. Why did he say that? Because he knows. He said it's going to get harder. The Rosemans don't stop. And here's the thing. Just because I got to 10,000 subscribers doesn't mean I'm great. Syndicate's putting out more videos. He's like, I got 50 syndicates. He's spawning off channels like it's going out of style. Crunch Time elevated their brand, repartnered with a big brand. So what does that mean? I got to step up my game even more. It's great for me. It was great. I loved it. I'm like, man, I got to keep up. If I don't talk, if I don't tell people what the truth is, if I don't interact, people won't like me. And at least at the very least, I can get my voice heard. And that's what I want my voice heard. Because I have a reasonable push for a win mentality. But it's crazy to think that more people would glom on to hope and something that tangibly has not produced anything, and then you rebuff. That's it. To me, it's crazy. You rebuff someone screaming, copy somebody that won a Super Bowl. Does that not sound crazy? No, let's just do it with the Lions way because we want to support Brad Holmes and we want to think that works. We want to take 9 shots at the apple. Okay, man. Okay. 9 shots at the apple with an all-world offense and a running back making $25 million and a linebacker making $20 million and nobody else doing it that way. All right. And maybe it'll work. But I can't talk into a microphone and spit that bullshit. I can't. I just can't. All right, roll call. Where's everybody listening in from? And hopefully it makes sense. Am I making sense? Would you have been willing, if it was possible? I was surprised. I read more. A lot of people said, hey, they would have traded Aiden Hutchinson for Myles Garrett. Now, most people support Aiden Hutchinson, but you wouldn't have paid Aleem, you wouldn't have paid Kirby, you would have had to have things go right. You wouldn't have paid JMO. You would have had to have a lot of things right to get Myles Garrett. And I respect a lot of you that said, why can't we have Myles Garrett and Aiden Hutchinson? I love it. Make sure we smash the like button. If there's 58 people, there should be 58 likes or more. Respect to Anakin. He's battling the chat. Respect for you, brother. And I respect you. You don't have to have my opinion. I respect what you're saying. I'm just telling you my vision and why I don't feel like it's that crazy. It's like there's a proven proof of concept. He did it. The Lions will make the NFC Championship game this year with 12 regular season wins. Great. That sounds cute. I would love to be telling you like in 2024, I think the Lions are going to win a Super Bowl. But Anakin, you can't say that. Right now, the Rams are saying it. Remember that we are in June 1st. I can't fast forward to training camp. I can't make it the regular season. We're talking today on a beautiful Monday after I was in Grand Rapids, enjoying life, enjoying my family, enjoying the beautiful weather, taking a scooter around that city for the first time. I'm talking on June 1st. Yeah, my thoughts are going to change by training camp when I see Terrion pick off Goff and the defense does some things and Ennis looks good and everyone's staying healthy and maybe Kirby Joseph practices 3 times in a row. my tone will change. But right now, it kind of feels like, man, it feels like your competitor made a move. I'm salty. When Aaron Donald comes out of retirement, might as well hand them the championship, right? Who is their boy? These homers are in love with their boy. Is that JG16? Right, Jesse? They win a Super Bowl by not signing their own guys. Pretty simple. I'm salty. We will read articles how Brad was almost there and just didn't pull the trigger. Almost there. No, the best would be he had a Lee McNeil and a second and a third, but was not willing to give up a first. Right there at the deadline. He was willing. He was willing to do Tyleek Williams, a Lee McNeil, a second and a third. No first. Brad Holmes held his ground. Jesse saw Doc was bigger, the Rams ownership balls or your t-shirt this weekend in Grand Rapids. I was wearing a large one, huh? I know those are charity shirts. You know, I like bigger shirts. More to pick up the stains from the spaghetti and the Italian and the bagels and the cream cheese and the everything seeds. Thank you for watching the videos, brother. That's awesome. Shout out to you. Shout out to I'm Salty, Steve Wilds, Anakin. Roll call. Always good to see all of you in here. The chat community is lovely. The Steve Wilds of the world. AG's burner. The mold jacket of the day. Brad Holmes. Sorry, man. You get the moldy jacket. You got punked by Les Snead. The moldy jacket today. Not bold, all mold. Detroit Lions. Phil C. Lions are always hoping a player will live up to their potential. Always a question. Exactly. Hope. We hope that these signings will work. We hope everybody stays healthy. Les Snead's like, F your hope. I'm getting Myles Garrett. I'm getting Myles Garrett. Listen, it doesn't guarantee him a win. It just guarantees that, all right, we know their intentions. We know what's up with the Rams. And they got Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. Is their defense good enough? Can you exploit their defense? Sean McVay's an offensive wizard. I think you can exploit their defense. So to me, Brad Holmes, get another receiver. Get another running back. Get another tight end. Go for it. Best defense, great offense. No, what's going to happen is he's going to have 21 sacks in the regular season and none in the playoffs. Because all the offensive line gets so much better in the postseason. Steve Wild says Garrett is a superstar. Hutch is solid, in my opinion. Yeah. Is there another move that you see they could have made on the other side? Let me take 3 minutes here. We'll probably go till 8:30. On the other side of the 3 minutes, maybe I'll do 5 here. We'll see. I am a little tired. I'm not going to be honest here. To crank out the content today, Grand Rapids, maybe we'll just do 3. We'll see. I think 3 is usually good for me. Arch nemesis Motown Mitch. The Rams are idiots. Love it. Love your optimism. I wish I had that level of optimism. I'm more skeptical. Steve Wild, Doc has huge manhood because his text is 40 times the average man. You guys are brutal. Anakin, Brad somehow is on the fans' hot seat when other fan bases would love to have what we have. I read something today that almost pissed me off. I was like, I get what you're saying. I get what the writer was saying. A certain beat writer was like, the NFL world covets our core group. Any group would love. I don't care what the NFL world is. The NFL is filled with 25 hack GMs that don't know shit. I don't care what the fan bases want. We have one singular mission. What do the Lions need to do to win a Super Bowl? I don't care if the entire NFL, CFL, UFL, the entire United Alien League loves what the Lions done. I don't love what the Lions have done. There is nothing in the trophy. I don't care if the president of the United States, the senators, if there's a coalition of positive people that come out today and say, we love the Detroit Lions. It doesn't mean anything. We are talking, what is your hope level that this team wins a Super Bowl? And right now, your biggest competitor took 2 steps forward. And they were already better than you. Better quarterback, on par running back, better defense. But now losing Jared Verse might be something that we don't know what the impact is, but they got Kobe Turner. They got Myles Garrett. So I don't care what the other fan bases want. The other fan bases would love Jahmyr Gibbs. Why? Because they're the Cardinals. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about how do you get, okay, yes, the Lions are NFL relevant. I would not do this podcast probably daily if the team was a crumb bum losing team. I couldn't handle it. I would lose my voice and I would get in trouble for screaming at the top of my lungs every day. The Lions are a good team, but on this podcast and in my world, first is best and second is nothing. Nothing. I just like it never happened. The Lions have never existed under Dan Campbell. Never. First is best, second is nothing. I will always be that way. And now, I'm not tooting my own horn, but Dan Campbell's starting to act the same way. He's like, you know what? All these slappies have been feeding my team rat poison. And you know what we should listen to? We should listen to Doc. You guys haven't done nothing. Get back to business. You guys haven't noticed? Nobody's clapped and said, you know what? Dan Campbell stopped being a slappy. He grew up and was like, you know what? Wearing the helmets and acting this way isn't going to get me anything closer. My team got fed rat poison with Hard Knocks and all the money and all the fame and all the slappies. They got fed rat poison. He's like, I'm taking away that rat poison and I'm telling nobody nothing. My job will be to see if my job on Thursday this week, I'm going to see if Dan cracks. I'm going to just ask like 4, I'm just going to say I'm hearing that Jared Goff's having a good camp. He's going to have to praise Jared Goff, right? I just want him to, I figured 2 things would be funny. I would ask him, just obviously, you have 2 talented linemen, but have you ever mistaken Blake Miller for Kobe Sorsdal? He's got to crack a little bit. We'll see. But no rat poison. Enough. Right. They haven't won nothing. He's like, what are you guys cheering about this team for in May? In June. They have not done anything. The Lions are taking more of a Doc's approach, which is absolutely beautiful. All right, we're an hour into this beautiful, beautiful discussion about winning and pushing and declaring your intention. Les needs an OG. Brad is about to be an OG, but he has to pave the way and do what other OGs do. Some more feedback here. I'm not going to read all of them. Just going to highlight a lot of them. Steve is not as high on Jared Verse. So that means that you believe that the Rams won the trade hands down. Silent Service gets in. The Rams traded their number 1 defensive end, who's a lot younger for Myles, who was great, but a first-round pick as well. Yeah, so what? Silent Service. They don't believe in first-round picks. They used a first-round pick this year on a quarterback. You know why they don't care? And they don't have to care? They nail all their 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th rounders. They nail a lot of them. Some whiffs there, but they nail a lot of their picks. Right, Edith? Right. That's exactly. When you start talking Super Bowl, it just crumbles all the slappies arguments. And they don't make any good ones. The slappies are like, guys, we can't definitively state that drafting and developing alone doesn't work. We can't definitively state that going all in definitely works and doesn't work. It's a big risk. Well, how about if you just married the two? How about you had a general manager that was expertly able to negotiate the draft, expertly able to go all in at the right time, expertly able to add the right piece at the trade deadline, the right piece in free agency. Guess what could happen? You could find yourself in the Super Bowl. That's all we've been saying here at this podcast is I'm not feeding Brad Holmes any rat poison. Brad Holmes, do better. Be like the best. And I can't hang my head in shame if he plays it back and says, I say, hey, I just wasn't feeding you no rat poison. I wanted you to be better. I wanted you to be like the best. When you achieve the Super Bowl, it is the highest honor. It's like the Medal of Honor, the prestigious NFL Medal of Honor bestowed upon great people. So you have to hyper focus on the people that did those things. What did the Patriots do? They got the best quarterback in the history of the world and a defensive wizard that was an expert and an offensive genius in Josh McDaniel. Well, that's hard to replicate. So you really tried it, but it didn't work because the Lions chewed up and spit out a coach that didn't have any experience. The Seahawks had a nice way of doing it. $35 million quarterback, added in free agency, had a nice core, had a good running back, had a nice defense, a defensive wizard, and hey, defense wins championships. You added a special teams guru who got you some extra yards, and boom, you spent a ton in free agency. You made the right calculated, right perfect move. Schneider's won it twice. He's won it twice. The Rams, the Eagles. There's nothing wrong with going, hey, this what are the holy trilogy of NFL's GMs doing? Are we close to that? You're right there. You're right there. You're right there. You just got to be a little bit more aggressive in the trades and more aggressive in free agency. That's it. You're close. You guys are close. And maybe the best thing for Brad Holmes would be the Rams win it. Because then all the fans would, I mean, you have no leg to stand on selling bullshit to your fan base if you don't try to push all in. If the Rams have won it twice, pushing all in. Twice. All right, I'm going to take a couple minutes, rehydrate, stand up, get the blood flowing. We're going to talk about in the second half. You got half hour more feedback. Are you okay with this? Do you still feel like the Lions still competitive with the Rams? How do you feel about today? Could the Lions have maneuvered this? You could have, but it would have taken a whole different strategy, which you're not doing. This is the Detroit Lions Lone Wolves podcast. We're taking a short timeout. We shall return and keep bringing the fire, bringing the heat. We got 400 people in here, 290 on. We got about 350 people in here, 290 on X, almost 60 on YouTube. Smash the like button for me while you're waiting. Let me hit this properly. All right, I shall return. More ahead on the Lone Wolves podcast. All right, back for more. Not sure how long I'm staying, but I know I'm fired up. Hopefully, I'm making sense. And hopefully, truly you don't believe I'm a toxic doom and gloom kind of guy. It's all about winning. Again, first is best, second is nothing. That's just how I roll. And you don't like to see your competitors get better, period. But it's still a good day for the Detroit Lions. We talked about Les Snead in the first hour and his push, Jared Verse, a first rounder, and a couple more draft picks in later years. Your Detroit Lions drafting and developing. Now you think about it. Should the Lions have been in the mix to try even? Do you think we'll get a report that they tried? Do you think the Lions tried to get Myles Garrett? I doubt it. All right. Now, a beat writer shared the list. And unfortunately, I don't know why it didn't move me. Maybe, like I said, maybe I took the 9-8 season far too personally. It didn't move me. It didn't do nothing for me. You tell me what word describes this list? It didn't do nothing. I don't know what's wrong with me. I was like, well, I feel like I'm being a little harsh. It didn't do nothing. Maybe because I just feel like that's a lot of money for a regression. That's probably how I viewed it. Justin Rogers, who I got a lot of respect for, but I don't agree with half the stuff he writes or says. I don't think I agree with maybe anything he says, but it's good. I get what he's saying. He's like, the Lions can have more cracks at it. They're trying. He's like, well, this is probably better than not making the playoffs. No, this is kind of worse. This is like getting close to the forbidden fruit, but not touching it. This is getting the number, but the girl never texts you back. I'd rather get the number, go on the date, and get in the bedroom. All the way. The Lions got the number and we're texting. That's what it is. Sorry to put it in those terms, but that's how this brain thinks. The Lions are texting a lot with the girl, but she won't go on the date. She's like, well, my girlfriends think you're a creep, and I just came out of a bad relationship, and I don't want to hang out. And she's like, but you want to text, tomorrow at 9:00 again? I really like our hour. You're like, meanwhile, Freddie the Freak is getting her on a date and getting her on the dance floor and taking her to Miami and closing the deal. She's like, yeah, I did hook up with them. I had a weak moment, but I want to talk to you. I'm tired of being the friend, brother. I don't want to be the friend. I don't want to be in the NFL friend zone. Like, I don't want to be the person she texts all day and night and never wants to hook up. Ever. She will never hook up with you. Ever. That's what the Lions are. The Lions are in the NFL friend zone. And we're like, we need to move out of that fast. The Lions are so firmly entrenched in the NFL friend zone. You're the +1 when she's on a wedding date, when she needs you. And she wants you to buy dinner. You're like, okay, it's the wedding. Can we go back to my place? No, I don't feel comfortable. But we're going to a wedding. You invited me to a wedding. You invited me to a funeral. Why are you inviting me to all these things? I like your company. Okay. That's the way the Lions are in the NFL, firmly in the NFL friend zone. I want to get out as fast as possible. They've been in there for damn near 60 years. All right, look at this list. From the Detroit Football Network, they declared these are the Lions' big moves. There's a problem, though. After the fact, we now have, some opinions on it. Goff's contract to me, you guys tell me. I did this again. I did this last week. I have not learned. I'll get it. There it is. Luckily, I looked faster this time. All right. This is from the courtesy of the Detroit Football Network. Lions big moves. Goff. Like, I see that, and I'm sorry. I see that, I get a little grumpy. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm sorry. Ugh, that just... I see that, and I go, ugh. Hutchinson, 45. That's a steal. Sewell, 28. St. Brown, 30. Jack Campbell, fine. The next three, that's 72 million dollars of real money. All right, 26 and a half, 26.7, 24.2, 21. So let's say we'll do the quick math here. 26 and 24 is 50, 81. Yeah, $72 million of real money. 72 million annually. Okay? Listen, Aleem, it was market value, but I mean, that contract probably is the one you look at and go, man, all right. JMO, you could have did some of that, some of those tricks. You could have maybe just said, okay, buy and use Tesla. You don't never know. But that's $70 million. That's 3 legit all pros. Impactor, higher than Kirby Joseph, higher than Aleem McNeil. JMO's going to earn every penny. He's underpaid. But I looked at that. What's wrong with me? You guys diagnose me. I do diagnosing all day long. Why did I look at that and frown? I frowned. I looked at that and frowned and said, oh, Goff. Whoa, that number. St. Brown's perfect. Campbell's fine. JMO, it's okay. Aleem and Kirby, like, that's $45.7 million I want spent elsewhere. Sorry. And you're going to pay, like, I'm telling you guys, when they announced the signing of Jahmyr Gibbs, I think I'm going to cry of sadness and frustration because that money could have been used to get Myles Garrett. People are like, you can't afford Myles Garrett. Why not? Because you're paying your own. You can't get, you're not in the game. You're not in the talk. You're not even in the ballpark. You got the digits. She's hanging out with you, but you're not going on any dates. She won't go on a date with you. She won't be seen in public with you. Good luck with that. Eric Taylor, good seeing you in here. Goff should take a pay cut. AG's burner, founder of the Mold Jacket. The Mold Jacket for poor performances. And I think, if I'm wrong, if I got it backwards, we got the Mold Jacket from AG's burner for the weekly poor performance, and Mold or Bold from Nuga. The Mold Jacket. Super chats are open. Listen, all of you in here on YouTube that subscribe, we're nearing 10,000. Please, simple favor, just push that notification bell when you tune in. That way, when a video drops, like I did earlier, none of you guys liked my backyard. Nobody commented, hey, you look like you got a tan in your backyard. I rushed home. I was like literally on like 4 miles away from home. I'm like, oh, I gotta make a video. I'm like, just do it outside in your lovely confines. Check it out. I think it was fair for a quick YouTube reaction video. Give that a like too. Jesse Adams. And then just like the streams. Anytime you're on this channel, like the streams. Just tell one other person, hey, there's a passionate Lions fan that tries to keep it as real. He's open to debate. He's, one of us. Oh, the Gibbs deal is going to break a lot of fans, Doc. You know this, but then the other half will be like, he's our best player. You got to pay him. I'd rather pay Myles Garrett. I don't know. Maybe just he does a lot of good PR, all the flexing he does. I think he's the second, third best defensive player in the whole wide world. I'd like that on the Lions. Myles and Aiden. You know what I mean? You just picture more hope, but maybe it's too much. Maybe in the end, draft develop gets you that one. Again, and that's how my brain works is. And again, when you win one with the Pistons, this is how my brain works. My crooked brain goes, well, if you wouldn't have drafted Darko, you could have had 6 titles. If you would have drafted Carmelo or Dwayne Wade or somebody else, and you didn't draft, you had Darko sitting on the bench in a championship year in 2004. If you would have got anything of a reasonable pick, the other guy, is it Chris Bosh? Am I right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I just know was it Carmelo, Bosch, Wade, any of those guys. If you would have had any of those guys, you might have won 5 titles. 5. So that's how I look at it a little bit. But Joe Dumars, give him credit for the one, but there was no, and if you call Eastern Conference Finals 5, 6 in a row sustained success, you're happy with that. I just look at it like, man, you could have had 2 or 3 more. Right. That's all. That's how my brain is. You could have had Bosch, Wade, Carmelo. You could have had a legit 5 in a row dynasty. You could have beat the Bulls dynasty. The Bulls had what, 3 years, 1 year off, 2 years off, and then 3 more. You could have just ran it straight through. The 2004 to 2010, all Pistons. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace, Carmelo? Wow. But we went to work. Go into work. All right. So am I wrong? Am I wrong? Do you guys see that list and go, yes, that's our core Habibis. That's our core. That's going to take us to the promised land. I just look at it and go, man, I just want to take a couple of those numbers. I just want to keep 4 of those and take 3. I want to take that 70 million elsewhere. I'm sorry. Sorry, Kirby. Sorry, Aleem. Sorry, JMO. I want money to go elsewhere. Defensive tackle, defensive end, corner, safety, another safety. I don't know. It's just me. I could be wrong. How the F was McNeil determined to be the core? He's a run stuffer, gritty attitude. Yeah, I just think that the value of that contract can be looked at and deciphered and debated. Update. Tigers are back. Listen, it can't be worse than June. It can't be worse than the month of May. June, get off to a right foot. But, did you know? Meme. I had the tweet of the day today. I had the tweet of the day. You want to see it? Here's the tweet of the day. Guys, this mold or bold? I had the tweet of the day. Did you know that AJ Hinch tweeted me? Did you know that? Let me share it here. Now, it wasn't in any form of nothing too crazy. He wrote me a letter. Simple words, simple positivity from AJ Hinch, your manager. He signed a letter to the doc. Analytically, the Detroit Lions are better than the Rams. Signed AJ Hinch. You guys caught on. Analytically, the Lions are better than the Rams. So we got that from your manager. He's like, 65 pitches is far too great of tension to give to our starters. I trust my bullpen. Signed analytics. Take your analytics and shove them. This fan base hates analytics because of you, AJ Hinch. I hate analytics. Dan Campbell and your 4th down kicks and going for it. Analytics say you don't take the points. Analytics say you go for it. Analytics say the Lions are better than the Rams. Okay, AJ Hinch did not message me, but if he did, he probably would have said that. He's holding on to those numbers, but I really feel like Anderson would have just mowed him down. He's just really great against left-handers, and the numbers told me it was going to work. Well, what happened? What happened? What happened? Steve Wilds, should Josh Sweat be the guy to be the response from the Lions? I feel like they got enough. I feel like they believe they got enough with Derek Moore, Hassanin developing this year, Peyton Turner with a chance to compete, DJ Wonham. Steve Chimente, shout out to you on a Monday. Analytics should have told Brad to be aggressive, but Lions are, well, the Lions. We're good. We're good. Strictly business. Strictly business, baby, here at Allen Park. He's like, no more rat poison for my team. Absolutely not. But man, Myles Garrett would have looked good. Was there any way, you guys, before we talk about something else, I think 80 minutes of Myles Garrett fills me up. I feel good. We're jealous of Les Snead. They should have copied that. They should have had Myles Garrett, but let's see what the Lions do. Is there any feasible way you could have seen a culmination of Lions moves? Because people are like, Doc, tell us what they could have did. Well, they could have not extended all these guys. They could have saved up some money and traded for. Would you have done Aiden for Myles if Aiden wasn't stacked like this? If it didn't cost the cap? Jared was on a rookie contract. You could have had Jared Verse if you would have figured it out. Maybe if you would have played the long game and said, okay, Myles Garrett's not going to want to be with the Browns forever. Let's get Jared Verse. Instead, you got a cornerback that you got no trade value for. Imagine Jared Verse walking across the stage instead of Terry Arnold. And you flip Jared Verse for Myles Garrett. Nick JP 87, not trading Aiden for Myles. Silent Service says hell no. Well, YouTube seems to be more in favor of Aiden. X, there was a lot of people saying we'd rather have Myles Garrett on this team than Aiden Hutchinson. I was a little bit surprised by that. So it's good. It's a good balance. Good balance. Anakin's like, trading anybody off the active roster? Hell no. No untouchables to me, man. No untouchables. Maybe Gibbs only. But I don't want to pay him $20 million. Always a big shout out to Steve Chimente, longtime fan, and always wanted video pod. Steve Chimente also, too, I give credit to the syndicate for putting me over the top, but really, in the end, credit goes to Steve. Steve said do videos 4 or 5 years ago. He's like, I see your videos on the internet. Why aren't you doing them on YouTube? So Steve was the original planter of this idea to do more videos on YouTube. That man, Mr. Steve Chimente, 6160. Shout out to you, brother. Many best wishes for you on a beautiful fall. You know how much we got respect for you, brother. Mr. Steve Chimente. You do not refer to him but anything but Mr. Sir Steve Chimente. All good, Silent. Like I said, I think a lot of people understand the debate. They understand, like, man, it's tough to see your competitor push. It's just tough because you want that. You want that final, like, go for it. In 2023, imagine if some different moves were made. If they added a Chase Young, if they added a defensive end. We were screaming, add. Brad Holmes ran up there. I would love to present to you, we traded for Donovan Peoples-Jones. Everyone was like, okay. You cut off you ran into the press room to tell us that. And he proceeded to get 4 catches in his Lions career. All righty. Very good. Final one on that topic. Only thing we can hope for is that Hutch and Moore have a big year. Hutch, yes. Moore is going to be a little bit slower in regards to his time. 5 sacks, maybe the ceiling, get to 20, 30 snaps a game. It's just not going to be, it's going to be Wonham and competition for more spots. All right. You got your fill. 85 minutes on Myles Garrett. I got my fill. Now let's turn our attention to OTAs. some storylines to follow that I found interesting. I was out there and it was Friday, so I talked about it, but now I had more chance to read and learn and observe. Clearly, so, again, if you got more Myles Garrett comments, super chat, hit them up. If you got any questions about this week, I won't say the date again. I heard it, but that date is the next one. My favorite day of the week. Did you guys like my question to Dan? I asked Dan Campbell about the 24 class and Terrion and Ennis. He said he's still like, again, no rat poison, but he went to the vets. He likes the room. Reed, McCreary. He's comfortable with that room. I thought mine was good for initial. What would the question be this week? What do you guys want to ask this week? Following the first week of OTAs, what do you guys want to ask? I think it's hard to be tough in OTAs. Everyone's just getting acclimated. But all I can do is recap the coverage for you. Again, in this job, the best way to put it is if you don't recap stuff, people forget what you did. I think my coverage stood up, compared to everybody else's. At Detroit Podcast, I had videos of steak and potato guys, Isaac Tesla, J-Mo, Jahmyr Gibbs, Goff tossing the football to Penei Sewell and Larry Borum. We had video of your Detroit Lions on our Twitter page. We had instant recap. We had the attendance report. We had instantly what Dan Campbell was saying about the injuries. We had all that prepared. We had a feature the next day on Ahmed Hassani. I talked to him for 4 minutes. You can read the story and listen to his interview with me. You can hear my flow. You can hear how I answered, how he asked the questions. You can see how I do my job. Did a feature. We did stock watch, who we liked, who we thought, okay, we're going to start paying attention to. I think with that said, that coverage is in the mix to be somebody you follow and trust for the Detroit Lions. I know the media landscape. And again, I want to touch on something briefly here because it's not something I can go into like forever. But thank you kindly. It is very kind that more than a lot of people asked about the situation with On Sports Illustrated. Thank you kindly for checking. I will tell you if anything ever happens. But in the end, the doc is a hard worker. The bosses love me. I love the bosses. That situation, I'm in a different spot than a lot of people. Okay. What Brad Galley's doing, and what the journalists are doing now, we did in 2019. We've been doing video for 8 years. Now the journalists who ripped the videos are doing them because, guess what? You get engagement, you get people to see your face and do the things you're supposed to do. The journalists ripped the videos. Now they're doing them. There you go. You see a lot of videos. Evan Petzold, Will Birchfield, Dave Burkett. The videos. Novel idea. Yeah, I do them. We did them in 2019. So I've been ahead of the curve. Okay. And, some people, I don't want to be disrespectful in any way, but all I can state my claim to fame is Detroit Sports Podcast has killed Sports Illustrated, according to the media, 6,484 times. But for some reason, I keep showing up. And for some reason, SI.com links for my line site keep working. It's hard to kill something when you don't know the people that are doing certain things. Listen, every company's going to have layoffs. Every company's going to have issues. It happens everywhere. But the narrative has always been, well, there's a layoff, so it's dead. It's not dead. It's not dead. I feel bad for those impacted badly in any job. Horribly. But my situation is different. No matter what, you will see me. This channel belongs to I. I always wear this. I rock one hat on this broadcast. Other than maybe an Old English D, Detroit Sports Podcast. That's what I'm synonymous for. So, but thank you guys for asking kindly. It was nice of you to say, hey, are you guys okay? Are you still the second something happens, I'll just come on the podcast and say, hey, the partnership ended, but we're going forward with the YouTube and the commentary and the opinions and nothing different. Yes, sir. Earned. Mr. Hassan, I earned that. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hassanin. Yes. I since 2013, I've been going at it strong. Steve, God bless you, Mr. Hassanin. Thank you. And thank you for the kind words. I think I impressed Corey too with the words. He gave me a thumbs up. Steve, you got to hit the notification bell, brother. There is a video. Now, the graphics I'm doing myself, I'm having fun with it. They're not the best graphics on the internet, but I'm having fun with it. There's a video that has bright yellow block letters with Myles Garrett's photo. Click on it. You will see my backyard. You will see the fruits of my labor. You will see me interacting with my daughter who's making noises in the background. Click on it in the next 5 minutes. Give me a review. Do you like it? But yeah, no, I'm in a different spot. I created a podcast. The podcast was successful. On Sports Illustrated wanted the audience, and we have a beautiful partnership. Give me your honest review of a 5-minute video I did in my backyard. And I've been in that home for a while. We revamped we revamped the pool because the liner was very old. Yeah, when you work 2-3 jobs, brother, you do what you got to do. What do you think I'm doing all these videos for? I'm married with 2 kids. What do you think? My wife is with me for my looks? No, listen, I do everything I do equally. God bless me with the brain, hard effort, work. I'm not stupid, mental health strong, and I love what I do. I have 2 equally passionate jobs. When you're passionate about 2 careers, I got lucky in life, man. I got lucky. God blessed me with a beautiful family, great friends, great support, and also piss and vinegar to be in the media when I shouldn't be. It has been done. It has been done. He knows. The Crunch Time podcast with Hefe and the Collective, they said, hey, you know, you got to make some moves at the defensive end. You got to make more aggressive moves. But yeah, I feel you. And it's been asked to Dan and Brad, all in, be aggressive. I asked Dan last year. I said, hey, being aggressive. He said, if we are, but if that one guy gets hurt, now you don't have the rest of the pieces. They would rather go with more of the team approach than one superstar. Deal. Okay. With that premise, deal. Brad, just a reminder, 6 defensive ends is not good enough. We need 8. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Okay, outside of the locale and the beautiful sun and all that, how were the words after a long weekend? That literally was 2 minutes after I stepped foot at my home from Grand Rapids. Okay. Now we are talking about response, so let's respond. Tit for tat. Do the Lions need to acquire Josh Sweat? The right Sweat this time. Had to correct the video from last 2 weeks where I declared Montez Sweat part of the Cardinals. That's not the case. Do the Lions need to answer with Josh Sweat? Yes or no? Thank you. That's kind. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the comment. That always helps. Thank you, guys. God's blessed me. 2 careers, hardworking. Yeah, I know. Listen, Bobby Stark, Yaramio, who's a daily listener who peeks in every once in a while, lurks. I do anything for my family, anything. I'd work 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 jobs. I would write 50,000 articles. To make my family happy. I'd broadcast 5 hours a day. Oh, I gotta check in because now all the slappies are waking up. Their notifications are hitting my phone. Again, it's just easy to talk to a slappy because they're like, what are the slappies saying today? Here are the first 4 years of Hutch. Here are the first 4 years of Myles Garrett. That's how it rolls. Let's just see. We got half hour left, maybe a little longer. I spend a lot of time with the family. They don't need to see me on a Monday. Prayers for Phil C, as always. Let me get this invite in here. See if we just get a surprise guest. And again, too, more credibility too. Also, listen, we support everybody. Brad Galley has also shown now that there's a value in independence. He's starting the Brad Galley show. And listen, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I've had conversations with the gentleman, and I'm certain that the conversations that we had some impact on him. I told him about, listen, man, he's a family man. When you're a family man, you want to spend time with your family. You don't want to be broadcasting at night at 11 p.m. You want to be at home. Independence, there's a value. And he said something, and again, just a quick 2 minutes for me. He wrote something that was touching to me in my heart because it validates the decisions that the content creators and those doing independent media have for the ability to grow an audience and get in the media. It was beautiful words, and when you see it, I had to highlight it, and I have to read it. This is courtesy of Brad. This is courtesy of the Free Press. A Free Press article highlighting Brad Galley. It says, first of all, it's a huge personal decision to leave a destination job, but it's also a reflection of how sports media has changed in such a profound way. It's common now to see independent journalists covering professional and college teams, in essence, becoming their own media company while putting out content on social media or YouTube. I'm very happy that more people do it. It's beautiful. You run your own ship. If the ship goes well, the ship goes right. You run your own ship in life. Run your own ship. That way, nobody can tell you. Like, even if On Sports Illustrated called me tomorrow and said the partnership ends, great, we still go forward. We still are around. You'll still see my face. I'm trying this week. Let me see in the next half hour if this fine individual will hop on. It'd be good. I doubt it, but I have to keep up the Monday invite. So I'll send the invite. Okay. Do the Lions need to answer? Do the Detroit Lions need to answer with Josh Sweat? Tit for tat. What are the slappies saying today? The Lions have enough. Draft and develop is going to work. It's going to work, guys. Hope, 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 hope. It's going to work. What happened in just when you see that from people, just go, what happened in 24? What happened in 25? Where's the continued success? What happened? More cracks at it. More cracks at it. We get more cracks at it. Yeah. More teases. Just what we all want. Yeah. More teases. But I give the Slappies credit. They are willing to bounce their head off a wall more than most. The Slappies are willing to bounce their head off a wall more than most. Mishanuga, $4.99. Sorry for the 10-minute delay. Hope it's getting revamped. It's getting touched up. Let you know when it's finito. Maybe do another video from there. Poolside talks with the DOC. Poolside banter. Poolside Lions. Doom and gloom. I'll let you know. It's currently under a quick remod, quick little touch up. As you can see, water's not filled to the top, but soon, my brother, you bring the cherry wheat. You bring the friends. I'll tell the wife to hang out. Give her some time. Give her a place to go. We'll hang out. Efforting. Trying. I'm trying hard. He's a ghost. He is a ghost. It's interesting too because he likes the banners. So tag him. Make sure you tag him and say, hey, this is how we start the process. You got to get the ball rolling. First, psychologically, you got to tag him. He actually is in some of the beat writer posts today. He wanted to weigh in on today. So at Adam Beydoun on X, go there. Tell him, hey, bless us. Habibi's live. Two Habibis got to talk. Where are you, Habibi? Come on. I'm not going to be like, so tell me about your past employment. What happened? What happened here? Who do you like? We're just going to talk current events, yuck it up a little bit, critique the media. And then I'll be like, so tell me about all the dirt. Are you going back? Okay, deal. Videos will stay on. Yeah, I'll invite him. I've invited him. What happened the last time I invited him? I think something came up, an interview came up, something came up that took him away from the operation. I will do that. I love Maz. I want to get him on. Yes, there's an arms race going on, but Brad doesn't enter the arms race. Deal. All those guys. Yes. Let me message that guy too. Tell him I'm efforting a couple of their crew as well. And I'm trying as best possible to repay all the favors. We're getting there. All those guys. Yes, it's daily. We're going to work on it. Yeah, I was there. I saw him. But it was during a non-shooting period when I saw him. And then I was focused more on my shooting was just on the current stuff. But I saw him at Allen Park. So, yeah, two things. Do the Lions need Josh Sweat? And then I do want to talk about the storylines. So that was a long diversion I had there. You go out to OTAs. It's early. Obviously, the storylines that are emerging is Dan Campbell's vibe is vastly different. Serious business. We go, we see, and so, like I said, Friday was about steak and potatoes, the Amon-Ra's, the JMOs, the Teslas. This Thursday, when we're out there again, because it's in print in a premium place, it's Thursday the next time, I will hit the UDFAs, the Hunters of the world, the Aiden K's of the world, Dan Jackson, Ennis Rakestraw. I'll hit the different players that you don't know much about. The rookies, try to get more footage of Derek Moore, try to be on the right side of the field. So I will present you what you want on Thursday. And like I was saying before, we're in the mix. We provide good coverage. We'll get you the videos. We'll get you the takeaways. And just keep reading the stuff. We'll get you the who we feel like stock up, stop down, the stock watch. We also today we had depth chart updated. We had 6 stories up today on the first day of June. We think they're really good stories. Let me give you the players to watch this week. Via Vito. Tyler Conklin is a player to watch as he gets more first team work with Sam Laporta out. Dan Jackson, Tyleik Williams, Miles Frazier, Ennis Rakestraw. Those are players we'll keep an eye on this week. Is there anybody else you want? Hit the comments. Which players do you want? So the early storylines are the revamped offensive line. You do see Juice Scruggs getting cross-trained all over the line. I think he's the first backup. Juice Scruggs will have a role. The battle between Larry Borum and Blake Miller. Blake Miller was the guy that I saw take the most snaps, but Larry Borum is going to compete. Jackson Meeks, Dominic Lovett. Who do you want to read about? I wrote about my first feature was Ahmed Hassanin. You guys said Hassanin, a rookie, and Tesla. Maybe if Tesla talks, it probably is not going to be exclusive to me, but hopefully we get some more of the guys. But you did see exactly. That will be done for sure. So you got a feature on Ahmed Hassanin. You got intel on his growth from last offseason to now, what he's worked on to get better. We'll talk more. I got to talk to Tyleik Williams, the only person to talk to Tyleik after practice. He was honest. He said, "Hey, my tape wasn't good last year. It's got to be better." You got all that from the observation. So in the mix, absolutely. All those guys. Barch wasn't there last time. I wonder, as a vet, we'll see why he wasn't if he was there. Dortch, Manu, Rodrigo, Frazier. Deal. All those guys. Frazier, I think, is going to be in the guard rotation as a reserve. Primary backup as a reserve. But might battle at left guard with Mahogany if need be. I'm not sure of this comment, but is it Doc? Dr. Detroit, draft and develop. You don't know more than Brad Holmes. He invented drafting, man. He invented aggressive drafting. Yeah, I think he listen. When you add the intangible factors and I like Brad Holmes as a drafting general manager, but I don't want to be disrespectful in any kind of way, but there's more to be a general manager. We demand more, no rat poison. So in the end, I want more from the trades and I want more from the draft. I want more from the free agency, more. Until the Super Bowl, my attitude is more. I want more. I want more. As Ryback said, feed me more talent, more competition, more, just more. Not happy. No rat. Nick Saban invented it. No rat poison. I'm not going to give any Brad Holmes rat poison. Let the other fanboy networks do that. Dan Campbell's moving away from that. He's moving more toward the dark doc side. He is. That's how the doc is. What do you think I tell Christian and Vito? Great job on your articles. I tell him I want more. Why didn't you write better last month? Yeah, he's got to step it up. But he's only 5 years in. He's got to step it up in free agency and step it up in the trades. Step it up. So you got the players you guys want. That's fair. I cannot disagree with what you guys are saying. Let me also recap the stock watch from Christian. Christian does great work. Remember, too, if you don't like me, do not throw out all of Detroit Lions on SI if you don't like me. I'm just a loud voice that's crazy enough to want to broadcast 2 hours a day and loves podcasting. The others are super talented writers. Vito writes every day except Tuesdays, and then every day except what's today's date? Today's Monday. During the off season, he doesn't write on Mondays. During the season, he doesn't write on Tuesdays. But every other day, you can see Vito, you can see Christian's work. They are, and you can see Emmett's work. They are three amazing journalists who I've picked from that bunch of journalists and said, you work with me. We are a team of 4. If you don't like my work, read the others. Yeah, see, that's a fair statement. That's why I should speak up more. I posted Vito's photo today. That's fair. And here's the thing, Dr. Detroit, those 3 guys are so humble. That's what they want. They're humble. They type, they get in, they get out, they go home. They don't need any of this. They don't need the flash or the attention or the debates. They don't need any of this. But that's what makes me. That's what makes my role good. I'm the front facing. I'm the leader. I'm the big dog of the operation. I'm the guy that's got to talk and lead the interest stuff. But those guys will give you all the facts, all the details, all the good opinions. Those guys have just as big a role as I do, just as big. So when you take, really, it's a perfect formula. When you take 3 super smart, super loyal, super talented journalists and you put them with a genius like me, you get magic. Did I say genius out loud? I meant a creator and a grinder and a guy that doesn't care about what anybody says about him. I literally do not care. Yeah, right. No, I get it. I get what you're saying. But it's in the mix. Words present value. That's why if you don't like the words, there's videos in every story. We have it all. You have to have something for the readers. And Dr. Detroit, you're semi-accurate, but not so. There's a lot of readers. If you put out good work, there's a lot of readers. A lot of readers. And I would like to think if you visit our site, you'll like to come back. But we got it all. Podcasts, videos, audio, whatever you need, we got. Let me give you the stock watch early on. We have a depth chart on there. Go check it out. We have 6 stories on there. Poke around, deal with the ads, poke around a little bit. It won't kill you. It won't kill you to check out a website. All our stories are about 350 words, 400. In and out. Average read 2-3 minutes. So you could spend 15, 20 minutes. Can I ask for 15 minutes of your time? Spend it. And here's a little side note. I noticed that, okay, let me tell you, just a little bit of facts, okay? Let me give you a little bit of behind the scenes baseball. I have up to the minute live analytics of our website. So what gives me a little bit of expertise is for the last 8 years, I know every readership metric possible. How many minutes, what stories, what topics, what interests, what don't interest, what's the clickbait? No, what's the interesting stuff people listen to? So I have all that information. And also, too, it's not that deep. My thesis is simple. If the doc finds it interesting, I know the reader finds it interesting. We try to write stuff that you guys want to read. And it's only 350 words. Yeah, you got to click a couple X's for the X's for the pop-up ads. But guess what? Those fees to keep a website running that has a lot of people on it at one time is not cheap. You know, to get those ads, you gotta pay for stuff. And stuff ain't cheap. These lights ain't cheap. This watch ain't cheap. This gold bracelet ain't cheap. You know, listen. What's driving up all those ads? The journalists. Every good story Vito writes. Hey, you're going to pay me more? You're going to pay me? Christian, every good story. You're going to pay me more? It's like, my God. Emmett now has picked up the journal. He's like, I'm like, you 3 are going to start a union on me? I'm like, no, I'm teasing. But they might. the on-SI sidebar journalism union. They want benefits. They're tired of the per article pay. So please, okay, when you're talking about a website with ads, just click the X and read the story. The X will pop up. Just deal with it. Just be like, you know what? Doc reads our stories. He prays for us. He takes questions that we want. He'll stand in the fire to ask tough questions. Dan Campbell would rather smile with Brad Galley than ever smile with me. That's the price. Listen, if in the end, I'll put it to this way. Brad Galley and Dan Campbell will take a photo, big smiles. I will take the daggers from Dan and have him frown at me and hate my guts and wish I was never there and look side-eye like, why is he asking this? Because you guys want that. It's a fair trade-off. So for that access to have maybe somebody ask a question you want directly, you see a pop-up ad, just click it and move on. Don't complain. Because that's the cost that I sacrificed. Dan Campbell probably in 15 years will never come on this podcast. And I trade that all day to be me. I'll take it. It's a fair trade-off. I'm direct. I'm blunt. I got to ask the questions. He probably is never going to come on this podcast. Fair trade-off. But the trade-off for the fan is you see an ad, just click it and don't bring it up. I know it's annoying. I know it sucks, but that's how I feed my family. That's how I do my job. And Vito's fucking greedy. Beyond. Steve knows Vito personally. Beyond greedy. Vito, quick sidebar. In 8 years, 5 stories a week, 20 a month. So that's 20 times 10 is 250. He's almost at 2,000 articles. Do you know how many deadlines he's met? None. The deadline is X. He sends it 15 minutes past deadline every effing day. Every day he's late on a deadline. He's never met one deadline. But I love that kid. I love that motherfucker. He ain't met, I'm telling you, he ain't even tried. I'm like, Vito, the deadline. I'm like, Vito, come on, bro. Like, I told you that, like, let's try to hit the deadline. Like, come on. Like, some days you just like, can you hit one? One. Never. I'm like, you journalists are crazy. You all the same. He ain't met one deadline. That motherfucker ain't hit one deadline. How do you not hit a deadline in 2,500 tries? But in the end, that's just a professional complaint. I love that dude. He'll never go anywhere. I'm just going to yell at him. I'm like, how is it possible you've never met one deadline? I'm like, even a 7th round draft pick gets one tackle, right? Vito's never met one deadline. Not one. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, man. Sorry. That was a little personal inside boss talk. Never, but Christian, on the other hand, has never missed a deadline. Christian and Emmett, like, I'm like, hey, I need it by this. They're like half hour early. I think they're scared shitless. I'm going to just can them. So it's like the exact yin and yang. Those two, hey, guys, I need this. Boom, it's there. Vito, my God. And now, because I'm laughing at Vito, I can't find, I want to find the stock watch. And I wish they just would put stock watch. So, there it is. The very last article on the list. All right, here's a stock watch. Here's who Christian deems to pay attention to. Stock up Aleem McNeil. We think that we're buying the hype. We are going to give him some rat poison. We think that he's going to have a bounce back year. Dominic Lovett was out there a little bit more than Jackson Meeks. Peyton Turner got out there in the rotation. Stock down, Juice Scruggs. Clearly, Mahogany and Ratledge are going to be the guards. But I think that Juice will have a chance to maybe be a swing tackle. Maybe. I think Juice Scruggs probably could play every position if you needed it in a lurch, but I do think that he'll probably be cross-trained in the 3 interior offensive line positions: guard, center, left guard, center, right guard spots. That'll be his spots. But I think Juice Scruggs will be the everyman. Dan Jackson has an uphill climb, in my opinion. Izzy and Clark got way more reps. I think that Jackson's going to have a special teams battle to get it early in the mix, and then Jackson Meeks. I just think that Dortch, I think Jackson Meeks is below Lovett right now, early on. I mean, remember Dan Campbell said don't read too much into it, but that's what we'll do. yeah, that's right. There you go. Come on. Smash the like button. We should be at 50. We should be at 50 now. Vito should be the co-host, but you won't give him the chance because you're afraid he's going to overshadow. Yeah, Vito become a superstar. Vito becomes the face of the organization. Yeah, right. Let me tell you what would happen if Vito became, in all seriousness, if Vito did a daily podcast, this is what would happen. All right, Doc, I have not taken a day off of this live podcast. We do taped ones, we do stuff, but there's been not a day that went dark. Vito would have one great week of shows, numbers off the charts. He'd message, Doc, I need you on Monday to fill in. Why? I got a date. I'd be like, but you committed to fill in at 7 o'clock for the next week so I can take your time off. Yeah, but I got a hot date, and she's not going to ever talk to me again. So I need someone to fill in. He'll be like, can you get Christian or Emmett? I'd be like, they haven't done a live show in 2 years. Yeah, but I need, I'd be like, you've done 5 straight shows. What about the 6th one? He'd be like, yeah, I need a day off. And I'll be like, what do I do? What do I say to that? That's Vito. But his 5 shows will be awesome. You'll want to watch them. You'll want to replay them. You'll have people talking about them. But that 6th day, he'll call. He'll put an email and be like, requested day off, June 5th. I'll be like, wait a minute, you just started. You just I've gone 50 episodes in a row, and you damn know I wanted to take today off or Friday off. No. You got to push. It's first is best, second is nothing. You got to grind. So those are the storylines. Hopefully you liked the 2 hours. The man did not reply to the tweet, the text. I don't think he's on his phone in the evening times much, Mr. Adam. Uh-oh. You're creeping back, Steve. 8-5. All right, we got 2 more minutes if you want. I went 124 minutes. Is there any questions you have? We're not going to call it mailbag, just ADA. Ask Doc anything. Any questions you have? Again, we talked about, man, that second hour flew by. I don't even remember where the hell the second hour went. We talked about Josh Sweat. We talked about the podcast, the work. We talked about the changes. Holy cow, that 2 hours just flew by. I got a little more time if you got any questions. All right, good. Riley's feeling the vibe. Make sure you smash the like button. Man, there's a big discrepancy. A lot of viewers on X. The X community loves it. I think Bosa's still available. I haven't heard his name come up. Let's just do a quick check. Bosa or Josh Sweat, Edith? Yeah, Joey Bosa's still out there. Prayers to Phil C. and his family. All good news will be good news. Prayers up, brother. May the good Lord bless that family and everybody in this chat and everybody on X. I don't know what you're trying to glean, Phil C., but I wear a 14.5 shoe. And you know what they say. No, 10.5 shoe, in all honesty. 10.5. Yes. Steve, will the Pistons be aggressive? Yes. I trust 10-5. Live update from the Detroit Lions on SI desk here in Sterling Heights, Michigan. Trajan Langdon saw, and now he sees Wemby, and he's like, okay, we got to match wits. You never in a million years roll with that team again. You got to add shooters. You need 3-point shooters. Sayonara Holland, Sayonara Sasser. Get some more guys in here. Sayonara Duncan Robinson. Get some real ballers in here. I need two-way players. Fair. Edith Paul, I like Joey Bosa, but I would sign Sweat first. All right, roll call. Shout out to Edith Paul, 8366. Phil C. Prayers as always. Meme Studio. Thank you to the 2 super chats today. Riley, Steve Wild, Steve Chimenti, X the Trim. Appreciate everybody that listened in today. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon. So far, year 8's kicking off strong. And thanks again, like I said, to everybody that checked in. Our media company is doing okay. Dealing with every challenge possible, but we meet the challenges head on like everybody else. The digital sports media is amazing. It's an amazing thing to be a part of. It's amazing to get the opportunity to watch football, to be in the media, to do it our way. It's great to be able to fire it up and be able to create content. Like I said, these 2 hours flew by. Holy cow. There's no way I can go beyond 3 hours when it's a single person. But like I said, tomorrow we're trying to effort an interview, but we'll see. I think I got to shoot more text off than DMs. I like sliding the DMs much more than text these days. The rejection's not as bad because you can lie to yourself and say, they're not on X as much as you are. When you send out a text for an invite and they ignore you, it stings a little. But we soldier on. I think you guys like the community. Smash the like button. Thank you to the 533 people across 2 platforms, X and YouTube. It was fun, man. It was real. That's really cool to see 531 on a Monday. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon. I represent the Detroit Sports Podcast, which I founded along with Adam, the Jock Strozinski, in 2013. And in 2019, we partnered with On Sports Illustrated. It's a beautiful partnership. They like us. I like them. They leave me alone. I create and do what I do. I do what I do because I love what I do. And I really do like talking into a microphone and talking sports. And I think it comes across to all of you guys. Let's come back to tomorrow. Most likely will be taped. Monday go strong, Tuesday like back off a little bit. Most likely come back Wednesday strong live. So please support the tape shows. I know it's weird, but I see the clear difference. I know you like the interaction live, but if you don't catch the tape show, just peek into it later. Because I don't want to do it where it's like 3 days a week live and just always do it live. If it's taped, enjoy it. You don't have to ask if it's taped or live. You'll always have something to listen to. So, but tomorrow, like I said, long weekend in Grand Rapids, 2 hours today. Hopefully it'll be an interview, but otherwise, nice short, hit it, interesting content tomorrow, and then hopefully interact with all of you again on Wednesday. But like I said, it's all different. Yeah. And okay, yeah, exactly. I at least watch my own, at least interact with you guys in the tape shows. Everyone, exactly. I like talking to you guys. Exactly. That tells you all you need to know about the DOC. Thank you, Joe Besco, 5592. Thank you, Mishanuga. Thanks, everybody. I look forward to talking to you guys. Hopefully you enjoy the 2 hours and 10 minutes. And if you agree or disagree, hit me up. Hit me up in the comments. I will be there. I will listen. I'll read. Make sure you take in the content. Share your thoughts. Never be scared. You don't have to agree with me. I am unique. I don't even think I have the popular opinion. I don't know. But I just want to win desperately. And if someone has the answers, I definitely look to it a little bit more. Talk tomorrow.